All right, my friends, welcome to episode 40 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Prof, and over there is my friend Anthony.
The Dev.
And we have a action-packed, jam-packed, peanut butter and jelly-packed show for you. We have a discussion that's is near and dear to all gamers' hearts, I think, about our backlog and playing new games at the same time. We've got 6 news stories about Diablo 4. Oh, no, that's not this one. Oh, shit.
No, there's a news story here. And, yeah, one's about Diablo, maybe 4, maybe something else.
I thought I messed it up at the jump. I'm going to leave that because I didn't mess it up. All right.
No, you didn't.
We've got some news about Batman's the return to Arkham. We got the Xbox One being given away. If you buy a pack of chewing gum, you get an Xbox One and a couple other pieces of news, and then we'll talk about what we're playing and finish with what we're watching. But to begin, and before we begin, somewhere in this episode, I'm going to read a Steam code for a video game. If you like video games, and you like video games that are free, you might want to listen to the episode and figure out where that code is at, and it will happen at some point. All right.
Unless I redeem it. This is news to me.
You better redeem it before Anthony redeems it, which is going to be hard considering I'm going to post this on Monday. We're recording a little early, by the way. This is Saturday night. We're recording a little early because I'm going to a concert tomorrow night that my 16-year-old self would want me to go to. Everclear and Eve 6, and Lit is playing there too, but I don't
seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
That's even better.
Yeah, I don't know Lit very well, but the other ones. I know that one song.
My own worst enemy.
Yep, exactly.
That's the only thing which is shocking that I remember that. I saw Everclear at Bumbershoot up here in college at one point. It was decent.
Yeah.
They're a Portland band, if I remember right. I think they're out of Portland.
That makes sense. They're very, very white.
Yeah. Eve 6 I've never seen in concert, and I'd actually really be interested to...
If they weren't on the card, I wouldn't be going.
Yeah. Is it the same members still, or have they shifted around?
I haven't looked into it. I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. I was more shocked that they're still doing anything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I will still say that their second album is amazing.
Oh yeah, that's the one with On the Roof Again.
Yeah, Horoscope.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love that album.
That album is actually I still listen to it. It's still probably some of the better alternative out of the late and early 2000s.
Right.
So yeah.
I'll be there tomorrow night, so we're recording Saturday night. This will go up Monday morning like usual. And we're going to start with a discussion about how we balance our gaming backlog against new games that are coming out. And the reason I bring this up is because been purchasing a few new games. I've been waiting for them to go on discount. I haven't been purchasing any full price lately. For example, I bought the Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens for $29 on Steam, for Steam basically, through Bundle Stars or something. And I've been playing a lot of that, and my friend kind of got on my case telling me that I keep playing new games, but I keep ignoring the games that he has recommended, such as Mass Effect 2, which I started a while ago and haven't finished yet, so I went back to it. It's fun. I really like it, actually. But I just haven't been compelled to finish it yet. So I'm kind of trying to do that. And I started asking myself, how do I decide what games to play? And when there's new games coming out, how do I stick with the old games? And I just kind of bounce around and see what grabs my attention and just kind of finish it as my attention dictates. But I wonder what you do when you got a bigger backlog than I do.
I have a huge backlog. There's a ton of games for me to play, and I would say what I play is very similar to you. It's very fluid.
Yeah.
There's new games that I want to play. Like probably in the next week, I'll be getting Tokyo Mirage.
Oh, did you order it from Amazon?
Yeah, I'm getting it from Amazon.
Nice.
I'm going to get that, and I'll play that, because it's new, and I'm under a little bit of a time constraint to play that one.
Yeah.
But it kind of just depends on, for me, what my workload looks like, what my stress level is, and then we just finished Witcher 3, which is an insanely huge, very story-driven, expansive game. Usually I don't do those back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need a break after something like that. I have to just do something that's different. And sometimes it is, like in this past week, not play a ton of games, mostly just watch videos at night or read, just to shift things up a little bit. So I don't know. I mean, my backlog is huge, and then sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I have that game. Let's see what that's like, and play it for an hour. Sometimes they grab me, sometimes they don't. So, yeah, I never feel compelled like I must finish this game now or play this now. Once I have that pressure on, it kind of ruins things for me a lot.
Yeah, I'm finding the same thing. Like you, I finished Witcher 3 Blood and Wine, and I don't like to play long story-driven games back-to-back. So, for some stupid reason, I picked up Stick of Truth, which is a story-based game that's not super lengthy, but about 12 hours or so. And I was hooked until Star Wars The Force Awakens came out, the Lego game. And then I think I'm 5 chapters into that. That's so fun. I don't know if you've read reviews or seen videos or anything, but
I've seen some stuff on it.
They've polished up the Lego formula a bit. You know, it's a Lego game, but there's some new mechanics in it, and it's just this. You know, it's the movie. You're playing the movie, and
yeah,
I think we had a discussion last year about Star Wars Battlefront, and them not putting in some stuff from the new movie, and I wish they would have. But this is the game that kind of should have come out with the movie, but it's great.
Yeah, it's a Lego game. It's simple. It's easy to get into. They're generally fun.
Yeah, super fun.
They're light.
The puzzles are fun.
Yeah,
they're easy puzzles, but they're fun.
Yeah,
and then unlocking all the characters is cool. And it makes me realize how much. I mean, this will never ever in a million years happen, but Lego Game of Thrones would be pretty awesome. That's just too much. I think that's too much of an M-rated game experience.
I want to watch heads pop off.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't think that'll ever happen, but
no.
But yeah, it's for me. New games, old games, whatever. I bounce around until something grabs me, and then like where it won't let me go. Like The Witcher, for example, would not let me go. And there's a couple other games. Quantum Break for the most part. There are games that just grab me and I want to keep playing. And then if I like with Stick of Truth, I'm 2/3 of the way through, and I said, I'm gonna try something else, and I'll get back to it when I'm into it. And I don't know, I just kind of, it's the same thing with books. Like I buy a lot of books as well, and I kind of bounce around from book to book until one of them grabs me, and then I continue to the end.
Yeah.
But my friend calls it Game DD, like ADD, but Game DD, because I can't finish a game, whereas he will sit with a game like literally for like 10 hours straight.
Yeah, I don't finish a lot of games either.
Yeah.
That's just not how I play. And I don't know. I know a lot of people that... Most people I know that play games actually don't finish the games that they play.
Yeah, and there's...
Like, that is... They play it for... Until they find one that really grabs them. And then they'll beat it. But for the most part, like, the people I know, especially people that make video games...
Yeah.
Don't. I mean, it depends on what you're getting out of it. For me as a developer, I play a lot of games only because I play them. A lot of them I play them until I get bored, or I feel like, oh, okay, I've learned this is what the game is. That's not going to introduce anything new to me.
Right.
So what keeps me playing? Like, for me, playing a game is a mix between having fun and a lot of times and learning. Because I'm constantly in that place of analyzing design decisions and how a game's working and why. And
yeah, I definitely think there has to be like new challenges, either new challenges in the gameplay, your abilities, or new challenges in terms of what the story is presenting to you. Like The Witcher, I feel like for the combat kind of sucked in places, and the movement really sucked in a lot of places. But the challenges in the story, where you were forced to make really hard choices and live with the consequences, kept me engaged way after the gameplay kind of got easy.
Yeah.
And so for Stick of Truth, for example, I don't really care about the story. I don't find it particularly funny, and the gameplay is kind of boring. So I got to a point where I'm like, I've had my fill for now. I'm going to finish it someday, but I'm not there right now. But I knocked out another 6 hours of it, so I'm probably 8 hours into it. I
mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you look at stats online for like trophy completion, achievement stuff, like most people don't make it that far into games.
And I feel like there's a guilt about that.
Some people do. I've got over that long ago.
Yeah.
Because everyone experiences and plays games differently. That's just what it is. As a developer and designer of it, you have to understand that whenever you're making games, realizing that not everyone plays games and is playing games for the same reason you are. And so, like for me, when I'm actually tying into that, making things, you have to look at like, well, let's put things in there for different gamers, different types of gamers, to get them hooked in different ways. And yes, they're the completionists, and there are people that have, I guess, gaming ADD, and you need to kind of cater to both in a lot of ways. And games that do tend to do really well. I mean, learn that. I guess the big one on the like gaming ADD front is you need to make your game pretty compelling up front to get people invested, and then stay interesting for change things up every, I don't know, hour or so. Introduce some new twist, something that will just be interesting. I mean, that's Uncharted 4 did that a lot. Like, it was very clear when I was playing it that's like, oh, let's just do this one-off mini-game or puzzle thing here. You'll never see this again the rest of the game, ever.
But it was something to kind of give you a different beat or rhythm or something.
Yeah, exactly. They understood the pacing and understood how to keep people wanting to come back and play more.
I feel like that's something that maybe Uncharted 1 didn't have.
Uncharted 1 was rough. I mean, that was Naughty Dog's first foray into that type of game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff there in it that's... I remember beating it. It was okay, but 2 was far better. Like, every game, they've just gotten better at the storytelling aspect and, like, merging the storytelling and the gameplay.
Right. Yeah, I guess my problem with 1 is I just feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and the story is not compelling to me. So
yeah,
I'm watching the video on YouTube and going to jump to 2 instead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just mostly how you, on those games, how do you feel about the characters more than anything?
Yeah.
Because that's what drove me through the game, was less about the overarching story, but more about how much I cared about the characters by the end of it. So I don't know. It shouldn't have any guilt.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Just play what you want to play.
I feel like that logically, but I feel like, I don't know, it feels nice to like knock a game off your list. Like, I'm done with that game, and that's silly because I play games to have fun. And you know, if you look at my Steam library, the top 3 games are TF2, Witcher 3, and then Mass Effect 2, actually. TF2 has 383 hours, Witcher has 20.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many games could I have beaten in the time that I played TF2? But I had so much fun playing TF2 that's all that matters at the end of the day.
It's true.
To me, at least.
I can't even know what my tops played are, but
I think if you go to your activity or your profile or whatever,
Dragon Age 2 at 107 hours
is number 1.
Yeah,
damn.
I have a lot of games at pretty high. Mass Effect 2 at 89, Skyrim at 80, Borderlands 2 at 70, Borderlands at 70. Played a lot of those.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of when you start adding it all up, you're like, oh my god, how many hours?
I play a lot of games and I split them pretty evenly.
Yeah, that's good. Mine.
Witcher's not on here. Witcher 3, I think I clocked in. I saw my final time was like 110 hours or something like that.
Yeah, and you have that through GOG, right?
Yeah. But I mean, yes, people can give me crap too if they want to on Twitter, because Dragon Age 2 is the one that is 107 hours, and that's the one people seem to pan.
Right, exactly.
But God, I love. It's not. There's a lot of flaws in Dragon Age 2, but God, do I love that game from a story standpoint.
And sometimes
that's why I played it 3 times through.
That's enough. Sometimes the story is enough. If back to The Witcher again, like the I don't know, the combat and the movement, gameplay. I don't know. It was okay. but the story was what did it for me.
Yeah. And there's something about that world, and that's Dragon Age 2 to me. It was just the characters and the world. I mean, it's...
Well, and that's Mass Effect to my friend. He, as much as I like The Witcher, he likes Mass Effect, and he's like, you have to finish it so we can talk about it. Like, I want to, I like it, but when I get compelled or told to do something, I really don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And Mass Effect 2, I mean, I have 90 hours. That's 3 playthroughs of that.
Right. It's fun.
But it's a good game, and I think overall you'll really like it.
I do like
getting through it, but it's...
Yeah. Every time I turn it on, I like it.
Don't want you to do it under duress.
Right, exactly.
It's too good of a game to feel like you have to do it. Like, I don't want that to tarnish it at all.
Yeah, and I feel like you end up rushing and just like, I'm just going to do the main storyline. So I purposely have not touched the main storyline, and I'm just doing the side stuff so that I can actually soak in the game.
Good. That's where a ton of great stories are.
Yeah, and I'll get to that later when I'm talking about what I'm playing. But, I'm kind of thankful that he kind of compelled me to come back. But I'm not going to stay till I beat it. I'll keep coming back and forth and back and forth. So,
yeah. So yeah, I mean, back to the question, balancing. There is no balance for me. It's just what grabs me, and
yep.
I have over 300 games on my Steam library, plus however many I have to play through on the PS4, and it's basically when the friction gets low enough that I want to play a certain game.
Yeah.
And like Syndicate is on my list. Like, my desire to play that game is increasing. So
good.
And it will happen. It will happen probably in the next few months. Yeah. I don't know when, but
right.
The thought's in my head. It's sitting there. It's percolating. Just one night, I'll just be like, okay, it's time for an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, and it'll be worth the wait.
Yeah.
I've dabbled in quite a few of the Assassin's Creed, and that's the only one that I've played through completion, and I could not put it down. So I don't know what that says about it, but it'll be something that you enjoy. I know that you'll like the setting, and the mechanics are way better. I don't know if you'll ever get to Arkham Knight. I know that you have that too.
Yeah, I should check that out. I mean, I didn't even play original Arkham Asylum until probably a year and a half after it came out.
Uh-huh.
Everyone was like, it's so good, you should play it. And I was like, sure, it's good, it's great. I just don't feel like playing a Batman game.
Yeah, right.
Like, Batman's not the most compelling thing for me overall. Right. I'm like, Batman's fine. He's not my go-to superhero. So I was like, I did play it. Once I actually started playing, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Like
everyone said. And I was like, that's great. And I finished it, and then I haven't played another one since.
You haven't played City?
Nope.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well then, yeah, you'll be waiting a long time to get to Arkham Knight then, I think.
No, I don't have to play them in order. I don't care.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't really need to.
I'll play Knight.
Actually, in fact, Arkham Knight was the first one I ever played.
Yeah.
I played Asylum way after that.
Do they actually tie together storyline-wise?
Yeah, just because of what happened to the Joker and...
Okay.
But I didn't...
whatever.
You and I feel the same way about spoilers, I think, so...
Yeah, don't care.
Yeah, he killed Dumbledore, so that was the only thing.
Yeah. Another one of those crazy crossovers.
Yep, I know. It's always Dumbledore.
How many times has he died?
And every time I try to talk about a spoiler, it's always Dumbledore.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Anything else on this topic?
No, my backlog's just going to continue to grow.
Oh, yeah.
There are tons of games coming out.
We are in such a golden age of gaming, it's ridiculous.
It better not come crashing down. I'll be sad.
I can't imagine it will anytime soon, but you know the market better than I do.
I don't think so, but I just don't. There is a part of like the oversaturation where it's like, how many games can the market actually bear?
Well, I think we're seeing that in the way that it's driven down the prices.
Yes.
It can't bear that many games at full price.
No, it really can't. And yeah, you're noticing that Steam sales now.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I think I put $110 into Steam. And I know a lot of people are complaining about the sale. This is the first one I've ever experienced, and I haven't been a part of Steam for a long time, so there were things that I've been wanting that I bought. Like, I bought Origins for $5, I bought Arkham City for $5.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about
So,
buying Arkham Knight again for 14, but that seems stupid since I already own it.
I own some games on multiple platforms,
Yeah.
so I was really thinking about the whole, like, yeah, this Steam sale and the last winter sale weren't nearly as exciting as previous Steam sales with all the daily stuff and the Flash. The
Yeah.
one thing that the Steam sale is so much better about, and I appreciate so much more, considering I'm on a budget and I couldn't actually buy games until yesterday, was, you know what? I'm under no time pressure to buy this game.
That's true. You could put it in your cart and wait.
I had them all just sitting in my cart, and I'm like, you know, I have no pressure. I know that none of these are going to go on a deeper sale. None of them are going to go away. I can just wait until I have the money and buy it. It's very consumer friendly. Very.
Well, the crazy thing is that some games did go on deeper sale. For example, I put Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition in my cart. I own it on PS4, but I love that game, and I'm thinking it'd be great on my PC, and I don't know why the hell I have a sickness. I don't know. I didn't end up buying it, but it was in my cart for $14.99, and then now it's $9.99.
That the publisher must have lowered it
Exactly.
more,
Right. So,
which is more. They can do that all they want. So
right. So I'm waiting for Ubisoft to do that with Assassin's Creed, because like Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 are both $10, and that's just. I thought they'd be cheaper.
You don't need one. Trust me.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just stick to 2.
Yeah, one is would only be something if you wanted to like research the origins of the franchise.
I don't.
It's actually not a great game compared to the other ones. It's a tech demo.
Okay. Then I'll stick with 2. Maybe I'll grab 2 then,
Yes.
because it's only $10 and I can just.
Two is very good. I enjoyed 2, especially if you like Italian Renaissance.
I do.
Yeah, that setting was incredible.
Not as much as Victorian London, but
I can tell. But yeah.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say on Steam I have 180 games, and then on my PS4, Xbox, Wii U, 3DS, and Vita I probably have another. I swear to God, like 400 games. So
I can see that.
I have a lot.
Yeah.
I will never be bored, but I just am I've stopped buying new games at full price. I've waited till they've come down, so that's at least helped my wallet.
Yeah.
But my budget this year is completely fucking obliterated.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but it helped me to not buy things full price or not, or to be very selective. Like I haven't purchased, like I had double the games in my cart for the Steam sale, and I kicked out half of them because I, put them in my cart, waited a week or waited 5 days or whatever, and then came back and said, I don't need to buy Arkham Knight again. I don't need to buy Shadow of Mordor again. I don't need this game. I don't need that game.
Yep. I did roughly the same thing this time. Added a bunch of games and then just pared it down over a few days, going like, no, I don't really care about that. Don't care about that.
Right. Oh, have you ever played the Clay game before Invisible Ink? Mark of the Ninja.
I have not played Mark of the Ninja.
Dude.
I've heard really good things about it.
It's 99 cents.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it's 99 cents right now. If you don't have it,
I should get that.
You should think about it. I put just half an hour into it. It is fucking incredible. It is so good.
Yeah. I mean, I've played other Clay games. I have Invisible Ink and the one... Mark of the Ninja wasn't the one right before that. It was... why don't I know this? Don't Starve.
Oh, that's right. Don't Starve. That's right.
Don't Starve. I played Don't Starve. Played that. And then I played earlier Clay stuff. Random story about Clay from my days is when they were a tiny, tiny little company in Vancouver, and they had one game called Eats, their very first game. They showed it to PopCap, and I played it then. They were seeing if PopCap wanted to publish it.
And PopCap said no?
Yeah, we weren't publishing games then. I mean, this was back in 2000... that would have been like 2006 or 7, probably. It was really funny. Like, it was so early. And I'm like, oh, I know the guy, the CEO of this company. I met him. He demoed the game to the studio at PopCap. Random thing.
That's awesome. Well, they are successful. What's their next
one?
What
is their next one? They're doing Don't Starve together.
Oh, that's right. That's out.
And then Oxygen Not Included.
Okay.
that's the next one. I highly recommend watching the trailer because it's hilarious.
I will do that.
And it's their art style. I mean, they have very, very interesting art styles in all their games. So
yeah, I really like their art style. But yeah, if you have a spare dollar, I think it's $1. I think it's 99 cents. It's worth checking out.
Let's see.
And while he's looking it up, listeners, you too, I'm sure a lot of you have played Mark of the Ninja. It was well regarded. It came out a couple years ago, 3, 4, 5, something like that. But it's basically you're a ninja and you're stealth, and there's achievements for like beating the game without killing anybody, like a pacifist route. And it's just really smart mechanics, and it kind of reminded me of like Assassin's Creed China and Russia and whatever those new ones are. Like we're trying to do that, but Mark of the Ninja does it much better.
It is $3.74.
Fuck. Okay. I swear to God, I saw it for 99 cents. But anyway,
I mean, seriously, it's still 75% off. I mean,
yeah, it's good. One to keep on your radar.
Let's just add that to the cart.
Just keep that on your radar. Speaking of radar, if you're listening to the show, you might have been waiting for a Steam key. I'm going to give you a Steam key right now. I'm not going to tell you what it's for. It is for a game on Steam. MGF8B BZGJI T6C0L. I would say it again, but you can just rewind it. Good luck. Have fun.
And listeners, I don't even have a clue what the game this is. Nope. He's told me nothing.
You know nothing at all. And I'll actually have one more later in the show. We'll give away another one. And then I actually have a third one that I'm giving away to you, because it's a game that I will never play, but it looks like it was made for you. So I'll tell you the title of this one. Maybe you know it. I don't know. TIS 100.
Oh, right.
You know anything about it?
It sounds very familiar. I know. I'm looking at it now because I know the logo in my head.
Well, it's basically a game that's to play it, you have to be programming a computer or doing
Right. Yes.
Which seemed like it would just be like work to you. I don't know. But there's not a chance I know I'm going to play that game, so I figure you might appreciate it.
I think I will. This looks insane.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll pass it on to you off mic.
Sounds good.
All right. Anything else on this topic?
No, I think we covered it.
I think we killed it. All right. If you have any listener, it's something that you do with your backlog, how you manage the backlog versus new games, hit us up on Twitter. Anthony is at SummerSpeak, and I am at Prof Plays Games. After this break, we will come back with the news. Stay right there. All right, my friends, we are back from the break, and we are talking about the news. We are starting with news that Anthony found about Diablo. Apparently, Blizzard's hiring some folks, or at least one.
Yeah.
Folk.
So the current game director for Diablo 3, make sure I get his name right, Josh Mosquera. He was the game director for the console edition of Diablo 3, and then he was after Jay Wilson, the original game director for Diablo 3, left for a different team. Josh was promoted into game director for the entire thing and did the expansion.
Did a bang-up job, that guy.
And then he did, of course, the Ultimate Evil Edition on consoles. Yeah, I mean, fantastic. Like, completely turned the game around.
Right.
He has since stepped down from the position, is taking a different position in Blizzard. They haven't said what he's working on. Probably something new. But that means that they now say that there is a game director position for an unannounced Diablo project.
Yay! More Diablo.
There is more Diablo, and I mean, I don't think it's 4.
It's got to be another expansion, right?
Okay, so long ago I heard rumors from people I knew that there were going to be 2 expansions for Diablo 3.
Mm-hmm.
Reaper of Souls and then one other. But I feel like that's actually changed. Because there would have been another expansion by now. they would have confirmed it. But I think they shifted to this more just getting stuff through updates.
Right.
I mean, the whole company has shifted more to a free-to-play model in some ways, or like Overwatch, where you just buy it once.
Yeah.
And you just continue to get content. So
right.
I feel like that plan for 2 expansions doesn't exist anymore. Like, that's not completely as planned, but maybe they're going to do... Maybe it'll be a smaller thing where it is a piece of content for a new class, maybe? Because I always talked, that was the thing that I had heard there's 2 expansions, so there's going to be 2 new classes. Crusader being one, and the people I knew didn't know or weren't going to tell me what the next class was. So,
yeah, right.
So I really am curious what this could be. Part of me wants to think that they might be doing a Diablo card game.
Oh my god. That part of me is saying that would be so awesome, and part of me is saying not another fucking card game.
I think there's interesting things they could do with it in Diablo.
Yeah.
Especially on the digital front, where you're like, what if your cards were randomly rolled with different, like, suffixes and prefixes, and
that'd be kind of cool.
They could do, and it's digital. They can actually do all this crazy stuff. Who knows? This is all my speculation of. I just think it's too soon for a Diablo 4.
Oh yeah, considering how long it took after Diablo or Lord of Destruction to get Diablo 3.
Yeah,
way too soon.
Although there could be a 4th one. I mean, they did leave open after Reaper of Souls 1. There's a couple storyline things they haven't concluded yet, so...
Well, Diablo will always come back.
Yeah, Diablo always comes back, but then they... Where was it? They mentioned the land, the home of the Amazons. There was stuff that, like, someone in the city in Reaper of Souls talks about, like, horrible things happening over there.
Mm.
And they've never gone back to it. So, I mean, that could be it. I mean, this also just says project, so it could be a free patch as well. Like, it doesn't actually have to be a game coming in, seeing retail release.
Right, that's true. It could be I think you're right. The patch model where they could introduce a new class through a patch. They don't need to. I mean, I think that's kind of money on the table, but I also think it's kind of complicated to, for the console edition, for example, would they just introduce a patch, or would they have to do a whole package again, like a whole retail package again?
I don't know anymore. I bet they set up the Ultimate Evil Edition so they could actually just add stuff into it.
That'd be good, because console...
Hopefully.
I played the vanilla D3 on the computer and then immediately uninstalled it and sold it, which broke my heart, but...
Yeah.
I didn't like it that much. But the new one, it's just... I play on the PS4, and it is just right at home with a controller in my hand as opposed to a mouse.
Oh, they nailed it. It's fantastic.
Really did.
So, I don't know, a lot of speculation. More than anything, it confirms that Blizzard's not letting the Diablo franchise sit around for another decade. They're going to keep doing stuff with it.
Good, because that's money for them. Speaking of speculation and confirmation, the next story comes to us about this is from Game Informer, but it's all over the place. For a long time, there's been a rumor of a Bioshock Remastered collection coming to current-gen consoles, and it has been confirmed. So this is basically you're going to get Bioshock, Bioshock 2, and Bioshock Infinite along with all the single-player DLC. And if you own those games on the PC, you are going to get the remastered version for free. And they're remastering Bioshock and Bioshock 2, not Infinite, because Infinite already looks fine. So console gamers are going to get Bioshock all in one place, and for PC gamers, you'll get an upgrade for 1 and 2, provided you own all of them. And I believe I heard that you just need to own the base games, not the DLC, to get the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I was reading. Because I think I don't know if I own... For like Bioshock 2, I know I own Minerva's Den, but then I don't think I own Protector Trials.
And I own... Okay, so I own Infinite.
Yep.
Bioshock 2, Minerva's Den, and I own Bioshock 1. I don't own Protector Trials, and I don't own any of the DLC for Bioshock Infinite. Does that mean that I'm going to get all that with the next edition?
Well, they're not remastering Infinite, so I doubt you're going to get anything free there. If you want that DLC, you'll just buy it on PC.
Right. On console, they're getting it.
Yeah, console, you're getting the whole thing, which I highly recommend Burial at Sea. Like, that is the conclusion to the whole story.
Yeah.
In
that's
so many ways.
2 episodes or 2 parts or whatever?
It's a 2 parts. I won't spoil anything of it, but each part is very significant. Yeah, for me, I mean, haven't played Bioshock in a very long time. I've played Infinite a couple times. But the thing with Bioshock with this is it's going to have commentary by Ken Levine, and I will be fascinated to just sit there and listen to what he has to say about that game.
So is it commentary as you're playing through the campaign?
Doesn't say. I wouldn't be surprised. Valve's done that in their games. So you just they have certain things that are hovering, and you look at it, and it just talks to you.
I'm going to pause there for 1 second and call back to the Mark of the Ninja that I was trying to sell you on. The version that you get on Steam is the director's cut or whatever. So as you're playing through the level, there are bells or some scrolls or something that you can hit, and then it's director's commentary. So it tells you why they made the choices they did at that moment. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so I have a feeling it's probably going to be something like that. And that would be really cool to see. Ken Levine's probably why I make video games, so listening to him talk is not a bad thing to me.
That's awesome. And does this mean that you're going to play through the games again?
Possible. I don't think I'll do 2.
Okay.
2 stories, okay. It wasn't done by the main Bioshock team. It was done by 2K Marin.
Yeah.
Which was a few people from 2K Boston, but it was totally, you can tell when you play it. You're like, this is okay, but it's totally a side story. There's just characters you're like, oh, so we're talking to these people and doing the stuff that's magically was happening at the same time as Bioshock 1, but no one mentioned it. So it's one of those.
Yeah.
So it was okay. Like, combat-wise, it's probably some of the best combat in the series.
For 2?
2 had really good combat. Like, the weapons felt really good. The way combat flowed was really good.
But the story?
The story was kind of like, It wasn't amazing. And then first Bioshock, amazing story, and scared the living crap out of me constantly. God, it's creepy.
I was on a Reddit forum talking about the remaster and how I have them on my Steam library, but I haven't tried them yet. And some guy was just like, lights off, headphones on, go.
Yeah, incredible sound design.
Yeah.
Incredible sound design. And then Infinite had really good story. It's just, its combat and the story didn't, in my opinion, doesn't mesh as well. Like, it's kind of feels awkward what you're doing combat-wise compared to what the story is.
Right.
They don't feel like they sync up perfectly. So it kind of is a disconnected in some ways. So, but they're still amazing games overall. I don't think I'll get them for consoles. I mean, I have them already for PC, and I'm happy to get the updates.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to obviously play for the PC because I have them all there. But it's nice for the console players, and I don't know, like, it's nice on current gen to kind of collect, like, the games that we loved from previous generations and have them all in one place. I like that, which is basically what a PC is. But yeah, it's nice.
I think it's good for Bioshock. I believe, and Bioshock sold well, but I don't think it was an amazing, like, everyone owned it. It wasn't until Infinite that I think Infinite sold really well. But Bioshock was still kind of a experimental game in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. So my wedding day was the day Bioshock was announced.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Do you remember there's a picture of you guys trying to pull me away from a computer?
Yes.
Bioshock announcement was the thing on the screen in that picture.
Awesome. Always something to remember your wedding day by then.
Yeah, that I've told my wife that plenty of times. She's like, "It's our anniversary," and I'm like, "And this is the day that Bioshock was originally announced."
And she's like, "Yeah."
She's like, "Which do you remember more?" And I'm like, "Don't ask me that."
It's like asking me to choose my favorite child. Don't.
Yeah.
You want to take the next news story?
Sure. The next one, now this is just weird to me, this is from Polygon. Microsoft is offering a free Xbox One if you buy a Surface Pro 4. So now they're just willing to just give out Xboxes if you buy a $900 Surface Pro 4.
Yeah, I feel like they're like targeting the kids who are going back to, it says right here in the article, back to school season. Yeah, so you're going to college with your Pro, bring your Xbox too, and then everyone else will see your Xbox and want to buy an Xbox and blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
I mean, and it kind of, in some ways it benefits them if they're just trying to get the Microsoft brand.
Yeah, and they're
everywhere.
And they're trying to offload the original Xbox because they're bringing in the S.
Yeah, it's still just kind of one of those things where you're like, man, it still seems kind of sad when you're like, here, just have one of these for free. It's fine.
Yep. We're not losing or anything. Consumers win, of course, and, I maintain that the Xbox is a fun platform to play games on, but...
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, the way that looks on the marketplace is, a little sad.
We don't value our console enough to keep it its own thing.
Or they can't freaking sell Surface Pros.
Yeah, that's true. Although I know a number of people. Being in Seattle, though, it's not shocking.
Yeah.
On my commute in the morning, I see a bunch of people with Surface Pros.
Microsoft just gives it out to Seattle residents.
Kind of feels like that. I wouldn't be surprised if these people work at Microsoft anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, that's the hard thing of where living in Seattle is. You're like, is Microsoft stuff hardware actually popular, or is it because they've just given it to all their employees and there's tens of thousands of them up here?
Right.
It's like the Amazon phone and the Fire stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. And it's always on their front page, like, #1 selling item. Here, take it for $30.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no thanks.
So, that's just the Seattle bubble, as I call it. But,
yeah, right. Well, speaking of stuff that nobody wants, Warner Brother Games has announced that Batman Return to Arkham has been delayed indefinitely. And the reason I say nobody wants is because the internet kind of ripped it to shreds comparing the visuals of the new remaster, quote-unquote, to the original and how the original looked better. So they're going back to the drawing board, apparently.
Which is ridiculous. How did they... Yeah, I haven't seen the part where they ripped it apart. I saw the delaying indefinitely. And I haven't looked at, like, the remaster. Are they changing the engine?
Yeah, I think it's in a different engine. I could be wrong.
I mean, the originals were Unreal 3. I didn't know if they were going... I thought I read somewhere that they're doing it. They're trying to... Oh, yeah. The first comment. They're porting it all into Unreal 4.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Which actually sounds terrifying. Man, building a game with Unreal 4... No, you don't do that. You just... So Bioshock and Bioshock 2, and I think Bioshock Infinite are all Unreal 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they're remastering those, but they're not changing the engine.
They're basically upgrading them all to, Infinite graphics, basically?
Yeah, they're just going to redo textures, do probably more visual effects, and higher polygon models, which seems to be the right way to go about this if you're trying to remaster.
Right.
If they're changing engine, I mean, that's just a folly and a problem waiting to happen whenever you're changing engines. Yeah, so that seems like a poor choice.
Well, and the interesting thing is that, if I recall correctly, it was supposed to be launching this month.
Yeah, I think it was July.
Yeah, I think it was July, too. So... then this is not like a, No Man's Sky delay where it's like 2 months. This is we don't know when we're going to bring this out, and to be honest, the reception of it was tepid from what I saw across the internet. So
yeah, I could see it. That's the thing. Like they could just call it and be like, no, we're not going to. We're not going to throw any more money at this.
Yeah, and then people were critical too that. Okay, well, where's Origins? I know it's not a Rocksteady game, but it is part of the the Arkham. Not Arkham, but the Batman line. So, anyway, c'est la vie.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird. I mean, the people that Virtuos, the people doing the port, I mean, that seems what their company does.
Right.
They did the Final Fantasy X, 10-2 remaster. They were the ones porting that.
Yeah, those were well received.
Yeah. They helped with Heavy
your wife.
Rain. It's true. And me. I played some.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a lot of porting work to tons of different platforms. I wonder... I don't know. That's probably a pretty big blow to them as a porting house. To be said, like, sorry, this isn't good enough. Now we're just gonna, like, delay it. I'm pretty sure someone's head's rolling on that decision.
Well, it must be because it's so close to the launch date. Like,
yeah.
There's definitely a problem there. Which is fine. I mean, for those of us with PCs, we can just play them there. And
yep.
Sorry, console gamers, but there are ways to play them on the older consoles for cheap. Next news item is comes to us because I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts today, the PlayStation Blogcast. I don't know if you listened to that. But it's PlayStation official, and one of the guys who's on the Blogcast, who is like the indie guy at PlayStation, is leaving PlayStation. He's moving on to more adventures. Basically, he hasn't said what he's doing yet. But I was eating my sandwich at the deli today, and I dropped my sandwich when I heard him say it on the podcast, because I'm just so used to hearing him and how enthusiastic he is about indies, and he was kind of the architect of bringing indies onto the stage for the PS4 launch, like the actual console launch.
Yeah.
So I assume that Sony's going to continue indie relations without this guy,
yeah.
But that's a big guy to be leaving. You know, a big guy for a guy that maybe people don't know about, Nick Suttner over there at PlayStation. So wish him well, and I'm gonna miss listening to him on the Blogcast, and that's a great podcast if you're in the PlayStation. I mean, obviously, P.S. I Love You is the best, but that one's a good one too. Oh, P.S. I Love You XOXO, excuse me.
XOXO.
Yeah. So that's a quick story.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the thing is, like, he's not a one-man army, probably.
No,
so
definitely not.
I am sure that there are people under him and around him that are also dealing with the indie stuff. He was just a face for the most part. So hopefully there's good underlings there that one of them will take up the charge for getting good indie content on PS4.
Right. Yep. It'll happen. I mean, I know some people would derisively name it Indie Station, but the indie games on PS4 are rad. So.
Indies. I mean, one thing you can say is just look at the Steam sale. Look at how many indie games are there.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought 3 indie games yesterday, 2 days ago.
Right.
So it's not shocking. I mean, you want to talk about where indie games are? It's on PC.
Yep. And I mean, we were talking about one earlier at length. Mark the Ninja is an indie game.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, games are games, and there are rad games,
yeah.
and there are rad big games, and rad small games, and shitty small games, and shitty big games. Just, find what you like. Speaking of finding what you like, there is a little company named CD Projekt Red who is looking for an exceptional and well-organized producer to join the Gwent team. The person in this position will assist designers and programmers and cooperate closely with the game director to coordinate development processes within the studio, blah, blah, blah. So they're looking for a producer for Gwent. So that's a news item, and if you want to be that, apply. But my question, I put it here to ask you, if they're looking for a producer right now, how far out is this game?
Not that far. I mean, beta's going to start. This is just a producer. This isn't the senior producer or anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, our games likely has a couple producers.
Mm.
So they probably already have. there's probably a senior or executive producer handling the whole thing. And then there are a number of producers, depending on the size of the team, handling lower-level minutia.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, the game is probably... I mean, the beta, they said, starts in October?
Yeah.
August? Something like...
Yeah, I thought it was September, but maybe you're one of those.
September, sometime in between there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the game has to be pretty far along if they're going to be putting it in front of people for beta. So I wouldn't worry about that, I don't think. I think we'll see the beta, say September, and then probably a out of beta likely in spring of 2017.
Right.
About six months of beta seems about right on that type of game.
That would make sense.
So, no, this is just normal position. They just probably actually feel like they need more people, is the thing.
It's going to be bigger than they initially thought.
Yeah, and all you have to do is move to Poland.
Well, I love how they offer you, obviously the relocation package, but Polish lessons for foreign employees.
Oh, yeah, they've been hiring the last number of years. I've looked at them years ago, and they've really, really been trying to get foreign talent to come work there in Poland, in Warsaw. Which probably does take a little bit of effort.
Yeah. Living in Ukraine, Poland was just amazing to us. It was like heaven. I imagine it's great, but coming from the west to there might be a little different. But it was beautiful. Just from my knowledge of Ukrainian, they're both Slavic languages. Polish is going to be fucking hard, so just get used to that. Dear listener. Okay, so that's our news. Before we pop off, I'm going to give you another code. This is to another game on Steam. I'm not going to tell you the name of the game. You're just going to put in the code and have fun with it. The code is GENY6 ILG44 Y4CI0. So enjoy that game, and when we come back from the break, we are going to talk to you about the games that we are playing. Stay right there. We'll be right back. All right, my friends, we are back from the break, and we are here to talk about the things that we are playing. And we're going to start with Anthony, because Anthony has some intriguing titles on his list that I want to hear about. Okay,
so let's start off with the thing at the beginning of the week. There was a Kickstarter that came out of the blue to me for a remake of a game called System Shock. System Shock 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. System Shock was a game, its predecessor came out in 94. You can get an enhanced edition on Steam right now. The company that did that enhanced edition, which was just basically get the game running on modern PCs again, and did the digital re-release of System Shock 2. They fought with all the legal battles to figure out who actually owned the rights to System Shock, which was a pain in the butt. And they're doing a Kickstarter now for this full-on remake. Modern engine, but staying very true to original System Shock. And I played they put up their Kickstarter and were like, here, you want to see if we know how to do it? Here's a demo. Play. And it's like 15 minutes, but I backed immediately afterwards. I was like, yep, you got it.
Nice.
It's exactly... It's a horror game, which I don't tend to like, but the System Shock ones are much more, and Bioshock, the Shock. Let's just go call them Shock series games. Of games are much more less about jump scares and more about just the broody tension of like what's around the next corner, like isolation, loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that game gave it to me, like right at the beginning. This demo was like, man, what the hell's going on? There's blood everywhere. Like, just dismembered bodies around, robots going crazy, and you're just like, what the hell has happened on this space station? And it ends with an awesome view of the rings of Saturn, where the space station's around Saturn, with some great music, and it was like, yep, sold, very good. It's FPS RPG hybrid thing. So
That's awesome.
that was the beginning of my week. I was like, hadn't expected that, but yeah, $30 to them. Hopefully it gets backed. I think they're asking for 900,000. So, and they clearly understand what makes those games good. So
Well, it's nice that they launched their Kickstarter with a demo. Like, here is the actual game. We're not going to pull a Mighty Number 9 on you.
No, they feel like I feel like the 900,000 people might go, oh man, that's so much. I'm like, no, that's about right. That's what they should be asking for making. Like, that is not a number. That is a number that's like, oh yeah, you'll get a game out of this. They're not shortchanging themselves. They're just like, they're asking for what it's going to take, which is nice. And then they launched with feeling like, we're not just going to show you concept art or maybe what we're making. No, here's what we're making. And it's good. They clearly have confidence in what they're making, which shows. So I was happy.
So if we go to Kickstarter, how would we find this Kickstarter? Is it just search up
System Shock
remake? Oh, just System Shock. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
That's
a good way to start your gaming week. Well, they're almost there. 25 days to go, and they're 83% pledged.
Oh, nice.
They have 747,000.
Oh, nice. They were at like 650 yesterday.
Cool.
So no, they'll make it. They're totally gonna make it.
Get there.
And leading into, a transition from one new Kickstarter to another Kickstarter. I've picked up 3 games on the Steam sale on Friday, yesterday, which was Subnautica, Chroma Squad, and Thea: The Awakening. I've only played 2 of them so far, of those. And another Kickstarter game, which was Chroma Squad. This is a Kickstarter about 2 years ago. And the game is, you are playing as the head of a production company putting on a Power Rangers-esque TV show. And it's a tactical RPG. So you have 5 guys, all different colors, and each of your battles is you filming a TV show.
Oh my god. Is it?
It's incredible. Oh my god, this game is incredible.
Is it reminiscent hilarious. Of, like, fans of Fire Emblem would be familiar with the way that the gameplay is?
It's turn-based tactical.
Oh, okay.
But this one is, like, a lot more... It's not the, like, Fire Emblem where you put your guys together and they transitions and they fight.
Uh-huh.
All the battling takes place there, but on the map. More
right.
Final Fantasy Tactics style.
Uh-huh.
But you're doing you have your 5 characters, you're doing a lot of team-up stuff. So you can, like, move it. So if one guy can't kind of reach an enemy that you want, you can move another guy up into range, hit teamwork, then move the guy you want to. And if it lines up right, the person that is in teamwork mode will help somersault them extra movement spaces. And they'll land, and they can do their attack, and if you teamwork next to an enemy, you'll do like double, triple, or up to a 5-person team strike. Damn. Especially against the boss, you can do finishing moves that way. It's clearly tongue-in-cheek, but it's very much a true homage, even tribute to the Power Rangers style TV shows. I think Sentai is awesome. The Japanese term for those. And then I just unlocked after at the end of the first season that I got to play. You have a big mecha battle at the end.
Oh my god, that sounds...
It's ridiculous. The game is absolutely ridiculous, and like the things that you're upgrading are like, you're starting a new production, so like people are wearing ski masks and like hiking gloves, like their costumes are made, and you're kind of upgrading, like the mecha's cardboard pieces, like painted cardboard, and this is all pixel art, but
right.
That's the whole point, is you're like upgrading your production quality and getting them better props and gear and stuff. Yeah, it's cute. It's a neat meta commentary on the whole thing.
Well, it's a game that my friend who wanted me to play Mass Effect, also talked to me a lot about. this game because he's been playing it too. Or earlier in the year he talked to me about it. He loves it.
I mean, it's good if you like tactical stuff. It's light, but has a good amount of enough depth to it overall. It's funny. It's genuinely just kind of funny. They clearly know they know the source material they're pulling from and know how to where to like poke fun at it and where to stay true to the whole thing. Which is nice. And again, this is a Kickstarter game that clearly turned out well. I'm very happy it did.
I can't believe that that game has a 16-hour campaign.
Is it 16 hours?
Yeah.
I have no clue how long it is. I think I've only played it for like a couple hours today, and I've made it through season 1, so I don't know how many seasons total.
Yeah, I just looked it up on how long to beat, and it's 15 and a half hours.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that surprises me. I thought it'd be shorter.
I'm very curious. I want to know what twists and turns I have.
For $7.50, I might be curious too. It's two people that I trust tell me it's good stuff. So
it's silly. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then the last game that I've played is Subnautica, which is an early access game still, and it's a survival game, but it's all based on your starliner that you've been traveling on crashes onto a ocean planet. And you have a life pod, and now you're trying to scavenge and survive in this alien ocean for the most part. You can build giant. You have like a fat little like technical fabricator, so you can collect different resources like salt and different minerals and copper, coral, and you can make all sorts of stuff. So what have I made? I made a small little underwater station, so I have a big room that I can fabricate things and some windows so I can look out into the ocean. But it's an ocean game, so you want things so you can dive deeper and have better scuba gear. Eventually, you can build submarines. I know that. I don't know. I'm a fan of the survival game. Some survival games. It's funny, after buying that game, Steam's queue is like, oh, you like survival games? Well, let me show you 36 survival games that we have on Steam that I am not interested in.
Right.
This is one I've just been watching for like a year, and people have tended to, its overall Steam ratings have been positive, so in each update, people seem to be happier and happier with it, so I figured I'd be interested in pulling the trigger on it. So
somebody mentioned this game in terms of a Metroidvania type. Do you get that kind of power up, opening up new areas and things like that vibe?
I can kind of see that. There's definitely kind of a story going on. It's not holding your hand though, but it definitely feels like I'm upgrading to different tiers of gear, and so the next place I have to go is a much deeper dive. It's farther away, and I just need better stuff before I can do that.
Right.
And I know it's not a randomly procedurally generated level when you play. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a fixed map. It's big, but the developers it's very fixed how the environment is built. So you know where things are. So, I don't know. I'll continue to play that. It's really pretty. The water is great.
Can't imagine it in VR.
I saw that this would be a vomit machine. Such a machine.
All right.
I'm like, it's experimental in the first place, but then I saw that had VR, so I was like, no, just no. This is.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to make me sick? Even thinking about it. Oh.
All right. Well.
But yeah, I mean, it's a cool. I'll probably be playing more of that. Between Subnautica and Chroma Squad, probably play a decent amount of that over the next week, I bet.
Until you get Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Yeah, which I'll probably come in sometime next week, but then I'll be camping next week in some, so I won't actually get to play until Sunday at earliest.
All the reviews I've heard, the people, especially on the podcast, where people are like, I don't care about the Japanese idol thing, I don't care about the J-pop thing, Like, it's just the messaging isn't just not for me. And then they picked it up and played it, and they're just like, this game's incredible. Like, get past that motif. It's just a really good game.
Yeah.
So that's exciting for you.
I'm pretty excited. And I'm completely fine with the Japanese, the J-pop idol stuff, so I'll probably find it amusing.
Yeah, that's good. So getting over to my games this week, I've been playing 4 games this week. Start with The Stick of Truth. I haven't played it since last November when it hit back compat on Xbox One. I played it for about 6 or 7 hours, and it really roped me back in. I think that the gameplay is easy. That's nothing is difficult or challenging about it, really. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting, but I don't get, like, people I think lost their minds for this game back when it came out, and it's good. I don't know. Maybe I've outgrown the humor. I don't know. It's not as funny as I thought it would be. It's not as interesting as I thought it would be, but it's okay plus, edging into good. It's something that I'll come back. I'm surely going to beat it. I'll come back to it, and I'm interested enough in the fractured butthole superhero motif thing that I'll probably come back and check that game out eventually. But
yeah,
not like a day one purchase or anything. And I have this game to hold me over. You haven't played that game at all, have you?
I have not.
Yeah.
I mean, just watching the opening and the first bits of combat, it didn't seem like it would keep. I felt like the joke would run out early for me. Like, this is funny for maybe an hour, and then I'd be like, okay.
I fight with farts. Wasn't even funny the first time. It's not funny the 100th time. I can throw poop at people. That was never funny, and it's still not funny. So that's partially me, my humor. And also, my problem with, like, comedic books and comedic games is that it's hard to maintain the funny over a long period of time. Like, there's a reason why comedy television is usually 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So a 12-hour game, it wears really quickly.
And usually comedic books are pretty short too, if they're done well.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking more of like Discworld, Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, but those books are pretty short, like each individual book.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about more of the extended, not the extended universe, but the whole series.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I find, I don't know. It's hard to make me laugh. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So, the next one was Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. This launched this last week, and I was certainly not going to buy it on the first day because I'm, watching my money and whatever. But for some reason, on the Game Deals Reddit, it came up with a thing from Bundle Stars, which is one of their approved, not so gray markets.
That's good.
They curate that Reddit subreddit curates they only allow like a certain number of, like Humble Bundle or Bundle Stars or those kind of things. The ones that are not, buying a bunch of keys, doing credit card chargebacks, all that things, like actually legit keys. But it was a key for this game for $30. So that was the right price for me for a new Lego game, and it is freaking incredible. Like, might be one of my games of the year.
Wow.
Just because it's beautiful. The gameplay is, it's fun. It's a Lego game, but they've added like some new mechanics. For example, in the game where you like build stuff and that helps you solve a puzzle. Well, I've made it now, and I don't believe this was in any other game where the dancing pieces, you go to stand next to them to build something, and you have like 3 different options. So you can build stuff to the left, to the front, or to the right. In some places just to the left or to the right, whatever. And then depending on which one you choose, it helps you solve the puzzle or not. It just does something funny or does nothing, and you have to figure out, well, which order do I make these things in, and how do they interact with the environment? And it's like a whole extra level of puzzle, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, because usually the puzzles just revolved around you finding one of those things, building it, and being done.
Exactly.
So,
and that always... That wasn't super interesting to me because you're just looking for it and just move on to the next thing. But this is actually making you think, like, how do these 3 things interact? And like, there's one scene where it's in the Millennium Falcon when Chewie and Han Solo find you, Rey and Finn and BB-8, and they're being chased by somebody, and there's this monster thing. And you have to like distract the monster with a hologram, and then build something to open the gate to smash its arms and some other thing. And if you did it the wrong way, nothing happened, and you're just, more people attack you when you try to figure out how to do it. Just add something to it. The environments seem to be pre-rendered. The backgrounds look not quite like Battlefront. I mean, not like Battlefront at all, but more realistic. I don't know. I mean,
interesting.
In terms of the Star Wars universe, looks like you're kind of there, and then all the Lego stuff is built up in front of it. And it's just, I think I'm 4 chapters in. There's 10. I've beaten 4.
Oh, nice.
And they're short, and there's a lot of replayability because you have to come back as different characters and open up new things. But it's funny. I mean, that game's also funny, and that I've laughed probably 20 times in that game so far. So I don't know. Maybe I like that kind of humor better. I don't know.
I mean, I playing a bunch of the Lego Marvel originally, and it kept me entertained most of the way through. They change up their joke, basically. It's not the same joke all the time.
Right.
Like, which is nice. I mean, that's the thing with their writing. They have the Lego game writing staff is actually really good to keep the humor level up there so that it's you don't get tired of it.
Well, I think they do a good job too of making a game that is really, really kid friendly, but adults still like to play it too.
Yeah,
and partially that's because of the collectibles and the story for the adults, but
yeah, I mean, I played Lego Marvel. They just had a lot of kind of humorous things for anyone who was an adult who had older knowledge of the Marvel universe. Like, there was lots of nods and winks and nods to different Marvel comic stuff that a kid would have no clue about.
Right.
So eventually I'll probably do the Star Wars Force Awakens. Not with I won't do it now because I don't want to show my kid anything from the Force Awakens.
Yeah, of course, because he'll want to watch the movie.
Well, no, I can't spoil it. I'm even to the point where I'm like, maybe I'll let you watch the movie. I don't know, but you can't watch it before you've seen episodes 4, 5, and 6.
That's true, because the gangplank walkway bridge thing. Among other things.
I can't. I'm like, okay, you've seen A New Hope, so the only holdup is me showing these movies is Empire Strikes Back, because man, I don't think my kids are prepared for that movie.
It's probably not.
It's a pretty dark movie.
Yeah, it might be a little older for that. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, even though I'm pretty sure I watched it when I was like 5 or 6.
Well, that explains how you turned out.
I know. I didn't like it when I was 5 or 6. I think I just briefly watched it, and then I was like, okay, Jedi, and I love Jedi.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I can't, I'm like, he wants to see it, Force Awakens. I'm like, you can't. I cannot show it to you without you knowing the rest of the story.
Right.
Even though Force Awakens is pretty intense as well. The opening to Force Awakens is intense.
If it's any consequence, I saw episodes 4, 5, and 6, forgot nearly everything, and still enjoyed Force Awakens, but I didn't get most of the stuff. So. Yeah,
but you've already been spoiled.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, pretty sure my kid doesn't know that Vader is Luke's father, and that like he has no knowledge of that stuff,
right?
Unless someone else has told him, because we haven't. So
yeah, you need that stuff for sure.
And I don't want to spoil that for him. That's why I won't show him the prequels either.
Right. Well, maybe that's a service to humanity.
That is.
Sorry, folks.
No, not sorry. Okay. They're bad.
Sorry,
you should feel bad.
I never watched the third one. I got to the first one. I was like, this is not great. Second one was awful, and I said, I'm not watching the third one, and I never did.
Third one was definitely the best out of all of them, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm just sad. You should talk about the next game.
Okay, let's perk you up. I've been playing, like 5-6 hours of Overwatch. That game is exactly what TF2 was to me back in the day. It is just every single character is just designed so well. Like their powers or whatever complement the team, and they're unique from each other. And the way that they diversified the support, for example, to offer healers who do healing in a different way, and then do other kinds of support. Like Lucio, for example, the roller skating guy. You can either heal people or you can speed them up. I thought that was interesting. Mercy you have is basically just like the doctor or the medic, excuse me, in TF2. But I think the map selection could be better and the map design could be better, but the character design is just rock solid.
Yeah. I'll hopefully pick it up at some point.
Oh, have you not grabbed it yet?
No.
Oh yeah, wait.
It's about having time for it. I just don't.
Yeah. I appreciate the PC version was $40. I didn't need the skins or whatever. I just bought the base version. PC games are definitely cheaper than console games.
Yes, they are.
Like, geez, there's something on sale on Steam that was also on sale right now in the PSN Week 1 sale or whatever. And it was quite a bit more expensive on PSN than it was on Steam.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, so Overwatch, just love the character design and finally got my first play of the game as Shoreborn, the engineer guy, which was awesome. I just went on a killing rampage. Speaking of that, you have to go give a quick shout out to whoever designed the Cersei Lannister play of the game as Bastion. God, that was pretty amazing.
That was good.
If you haven't seen it, folks, look that up. The last thing that I've been playing is, as I mentioned earlier, Mass Effect 2. Picked it back up again today. Played probably an hour and a half, just side missions. I did the loyalty mission for the Krogan, and I did the loyalty mission for somebody else. Ooh, can't remember. But the Krogan one was cool. You do like that...
Grunts?
Yeah, Grunts. You basically do like the trial, manhood trial or whatever.
Yeah.
Which was fun. And fairly quick. It didn't take too much time.
Most of the missions in that are actually pretty quick missions.
Yeah.
Get in, get out kind of stuff, and tell a good story usually through it.
Right. Yeah, so I'm trying to play Renegade, but I keep choosing Paragon answers, so I'm kind of split half and half. But I'm 13 hours into the game. I know it's about a 24-hour campaign. I'll probably bear down and get through a bit of it. Not because it's a chore. The game is really, really fun. There's just so much to play. There's Overwatch calling my name. That 5 seconds of fun loop.
Yeah, you're like, I can just play Overwatch for a few minutes. Hey, look at that.
We'll spend 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's my problem. But those are the things I've been playing, and I've been having just so much fun like playing the games this week. It's been, I'm very grateful to have the opportunity and the time. So with that, we're going to come back in a couple of minutes. For you, it'll be a couple of seconds, and we will be talking about things that we are watching on television. We'll be right back. So, we're back, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about what we're watching on TV, and then we'll wrap up episode 40. And when I say TV, I don't think either of us have cable.
Nope.
Yeah.
I actually might have, 13-channel cable because it makes my internet cheaper.
Oh, yeah, of course. They like to bundle it so they can say they have people watching TV when they really don't.
I don't think I've actually turned my TV onto cable in, a year.
Nice.
I might turn it on for the Olympics. I always usually watch some of that, but because although they might stream the Olympics this year a lot more than they did 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago it was still a pain in the ass to watch it online.
Yeah, I hope they'll have more.
Yeah.
So I have been watching this week one show, and it's on Netflix. It's Orange is the New Black, season 4. Season 4 came out on June 17th, and it's a show that I've enjoyed, but my wife has enjoyed it more, and she's always asking me, do you want to watch an episode of Orange is the New Black? And I am kind of not really. I'm not really, called to watch the next episode, but when I finally get drawn to watch one, it's enjoyable. Yeah. This season, though, is, cannot put it down. I'm the one asking her, do you want to watch it? And she's like, let's pace it out. Let's spread it out. Let's not binge this all in one day. But we're at the last 2 episodes before the end. It's just I'm dying to know what happens next. It is so well done. It's so good. And so sad.
I haven't watched. I watched first season. I watched a few episodes of season 2. And I was so annoyed with the main character that I couldn't continue watching.
Yeah, and I had
God,
the same...
season 2. I think it's season 2 where she lies at court.
Yes.
And I was like, in that the aftermath of that, and I was like, yeah, I can't watch this anymore. I hate you. I hate your character. I cannot watch more of you.
I would honestly recommend looking at a synopsis of season 2 and season 3.
Okay.
And then just jump to 4. If you're looking to get back into it, if you were looking for something to watch, like skip 2 and 3. They were good, not great, and you could get a... I mean, let me say that again. They were really, really good, except for that character. I don't like Piper very much.
Which is the main character?
Less and less as you go on.
That's what it made it seem like, even season 2. Like, it seemed that they were cutting away from her more.
Yeah, right.
I can only imagine that's continued, but still.
It has. I mean, she's still like...
I hate that character.
She's equal with a lot of other people, but she's not like the main person anymore. But it is just great television, really, and just like a biting criticism of the privatization of our prisons in this country.
Oh,
which
okay.
Having a prison pen pal, I've had the same prison pen pal since 2009, and just hearing from the inside things that are happening, and then watching this show and how much of it's real, it's a problem. And it's a really good critique, and it's also just great drama. I think it's a little tropey, a little bit. It relies on cliches just a little bit, but it is far and away the best season, and I really liked season 1.
Yeah, I enjoyed season 1 a lot. I think that's why season 2 was kind of... It didn't hold my interest nearly as much. And
exactly.
Again, disliking that character, and then I was just like, this kind of feels like a chore that I'm trying to get through this.
Yeah.
Like, it's well done, it's well acted and presented. It's just
right.
Didn't grab me as much as the first season had.
Right, I agree absolutely, and that's why my wife was the driving force for us to watch season 2 and 3. But man, this one. Whew.
Okay.
So keep that in the back of your mind.
I will. And so I also have been using Netflix as my primary way to watch anything, and I've been watching. This is one I've been watching probably for the past 4 or 5 months, just an episode here or there. Person of Interest.
Oh, nice. The one with the guy from Lost.
Yes.
Ben from Lost, whatever his name is.
Yeah. I own from Person of Interest now because I never watched much Lost.
What? Okay. I guess you were never in Peace Corps.
I am happy I didn't watch Lost. Actually, that's not true. I watched the end of it.
The end is awful. Terrible.
It is. I watched some
Garbage.
of the last season, and I was like, what the hell is this?
You watched the worst. It's like, that's the worst fucking... It's like the most beautiful meal you can imagine, and then eating the shit. Like, no. The meal is, the first 2 or 3 seasons are great, and then it just goes to shit.
It made it seem... That's what I kind of got from it, from watching towards the end. I was like, this should have ended a while ago. This didn't need this.
Sorry, back to Person.
So, Michael Emerson.
That's it, Michael Emerson. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, so this is like the show he did after Lost.
Mm-hmm.
Because this has been on the air. The 5th season just wrapped up this year, and finished off season finale, the series finale.
Oh, it's done.
It's done, and the first 4 seasons are on Netflix.
Ooh.
And so this is one I had always heard good things about it, and it was kind of a weird thing. Like, I was like, oh, okay, it's a crime procedural show when it first started. It's like, whatever. It's done by one of the Nolans. Who's the director that did the Batmans? That's Jonathan Nolan?
Christopher Nolan.
So Jonathan Nolan, his brother.
The Memento guy.
He writes scripts with Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
They work together. But Jonathan Nolan was the original person that kicked off Person of Interest.
Oh my god, that makes me want to watch it now.
So it was pitched clearly to CBS as a police procedural. I mean, that's kind of how it treats itself in some ways, but with this weird hook that there is a person of interest. You don't know why they're of interest, but Michael Emerson's character just gets their social security number, knows that this person is of interest. They could be a killer, they could be killed, just something is interesting about them. And then I think it's Jim Caviezel.
Oh, yeah.
He was in The Count of Monte Cristo. I think he was the movie The Count. He basically plays an ex-special ops person who Michael Emerson's character sends out to figure out what's going on. And the first season, for the most part, is a police procedural. You're like, okay, it's good, but your normal CBS fare in that regard. And then you hit the end of the first season, and you're like, oh, okay, let's step back a little bit. And then as it goes on, it becomes... I remember reading stuff on IO9 during its third season where they were saying this is the best sci-fi show on television.
Wow.
And now I'm watching... I just finished third season. I'm in fourth season now. And yeah, it is. It is a sci-fi show through and through. It just hid that from the audience for a long time.
And then slowly parceled it out to them.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
And it's great characters, good twists, really great twists on a number of the characters you think are villains who eventually aren't villains, and there's a lot of gray to the show. And yeah, I've really been enjoying it a lot. And yeah, it's just one of those things where you're like, how did this show ever get made? Because it probably... And how did it get made on a TV station that would never make something like this? So, it's been fun.
Well, you've piqued my interest. Are the episodes, are they 30 minutes or are they like 45? Like that?
They're an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, they're hour-long police procedurals. Jonathan Nolan, wrote the first two episodes and came back. The show deals a lot with surveillance state. Like, that's kind of the gray area, is like how much of our lives are private, and it actually goes pretty deep into the gray on, like, well, how much are we giving up of our privacy?
Right.
Just choosing to. And to how much is safe and not is for safety and not. And it doesn't try to come down one way or the other. It's just like, this is the world we live in. And which is a nice thing. It's kind of rare that you get shows that push that kind of boundary of like, well, why don't you think about your privacy just a little bit? So yeah, I do recommend it. It's pretty good. I think first season was a full 24. One of the seasons is short.
Wow, 24 is a pretty long season.
It was. It's padded, you can tell. Police procedural, kind of like... Yeah. But it builds. It builds up, and you're like, oh, a lot of the stuff that you thought was just one-off stuff does come back and is meaningful. So, right. Yeah, I recommend it. It's been fun, I hope. And I was questionable, like I hadn't watched something in a couple weeks until it finished, and I quickly saw what people were saying about the finale, and everyone's like, thumbs up, like AV Club, who I trust a lot, they gave an A+.
Dang, on the finale?
Like, they said that the finale,
wow.
They're just like, it ended perfectly. Like, everything was just like, IO9, AV Club, all these people I trust are just like, this show ended on a high note, went out exactly as it should have. I'm like, okay, I will finish it then.
Then that's worth your investment, unlike Lost.
No, God.
Not worth your investment, man.
I've heard the first season's good.
It's really good. And they should have done what they wanted to do. The pilot, Jack, died. They killed Jack. They should have killed him.
In the pilot?
What?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, in the pilot of the show, Jack was going to die. That would have been a good decision.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That show just meandered a little bit too much.
Way too much. They took the Stephen King approach to writing, which is like, let's just put it out, and we don't need to answer these questions until later, and then later never came.
You got to answer questions.
Yeah. Smoke monster? Who knows? Who cares? It's nothing.
Who cares? It doesn't matter anymore. It's evil.
Time travel? Who knows? Who cares? And then at the end, we're all just in heaven.
Purgatory.
Waiting. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, fuck me.
That was the stupidest thing ever.
Stupid. So stupid.
God, God. Now see? Now you're just making me angry again.
Okay, so let's...
That show just makes me angry.
Let's end on a good note. We played a lot of great games this week, and we have more great games to play next week. And we'll be talking about them again next weekend and launch the podcast again next Monday. So if you were listening at the beginning of the show, you heard that we gave away a couple of codes. So if you didn't hear them earlier, the codes, again, are... I'm just kidding. I'm not going to tell you. I know that you scanned to the end of the episode to see if we put it at the end. We didn't. They're somewhere hidden in the middle. Good luck.
Just listen.
Just listen. It's a great podcast. Until next week, my name is Larry. I am at Prof Plays Games, and over there is Anthony. He is at Summer Speak. Any final parting words, Anthony?
Nah. Don't kill yourself on the Steam sale, people.
Yes. Don't lose all of your money on the Steam sale, and I think that it's people are managing not to.
That's good.
But if you are looking for a good game, folks, pick up Mark of the Ninja. $3.49. That's less than a cup of coffee.
It's true.
All right. Until next week, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Good night.